170 suspicious activity reports, thousands of pages of bank records, 20 LLCs that the Biden family formed that got all kinds of money, millions of dollars from foreign entities. That money was paid to multiple people in the Biden family, Joe's brother, his son, his sister-in-law, his daughter-in-law, paid to all kinds of people in the Biden family. And again, as we've talked about before, Sean, the fundamental question is, what did they do to warrant receipt of the money? What service did they provide? What value did they add? What business did they actually run? What were they doing? No one seems to be able to answer that question.
This is the Gates-funded edible food coating, and it gets the green light from regulators. So it's Edapeel, marketed as Apeel, that you've all been writing to us about and sending in photographs of these weird stickers on your fruit. It's described as a colorless, odorless, tasteless coating for fruit and veg that's composed entirely of a mixture of food-grade glycerolipids derived from edible plant oils that were assured is entirely safe to eat. The coating has been approved for use in organic produce in the US. That's what's freaking most of our people out, Mary, because we are organic eaters. And it can't be removed, even by scrubbing the produce. You cannot get it off. The article then breaks down what this whole thing is, what Edapeel is, and asks if it's safe or not. It's very concerning, Mary.
Polly, there's certainly efforts to make the food supply more chemically involved and more genetically modified, and it's a risk. There's no question about it. The only thing that's good that I noticed in the article, Polly, is that there is a little sticker. And so if you see even your organic avocado has an Apeel sticker on it, get a different avocado.
All right, has anyone noticed this trend among some of our government experts lately? It starts off with them telling you a thing. If you question the thing, you will be mocked, ridiculed, and potentially censored. It then turns out later that the thing that they told you wasn't quite as true as they promised you it would be. And when you point this out, they revert to telling you that, well, they never told you the thing that they told you. And then when you show them incontrovertible proof that they did in fact tell you the thing that they told you, they just suggest that you should be mocked, ridiculed, and potentially censored. I can't imagine why we don't trust these guys.
If you're so confused and disoriented that you don't know where you are or where you're going, there are predators of the spirit who are much worse than snakes that are waiting in wait for you. And the probability that you'll move from aimless, hopeless, joyless anxiety to nihilism, corrosive bitterness, and genocidal fantasy in the fundamental extreme is very high. And so that's possession by a predator of the spirit in the desert of the soul. And that's real.
Honey, someone's going to the house. Someone's going to the house. What do we do? What do we do? What do we do?
Who are you calling the cops? I'm gonna call the cops.
We're recording you.
No. It's okay. I'm just your neighbor. Coming by to say howdy.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah, we're not used to people stopping by to say howdy without assaulting us first, robbing us, or defecating on our lawn.
Sometimes all three.
The trifecta. We're from Los Angeles.
Just moved to Texas.
I figured.
Oh, the California plates?
Well, yeah, and the masks. Inside your own house. No one else around. 2022.
We just want to be extra safe.
We feel naked without masks.
We'll probably wear them for the rest of our lives.
We'll be buried in them.
Okay. Well, you seem like a lovely couple. Like I said, I just wanted to drop by and welcome you to the neighborhood.
Why? Do you want something?
Oh, no. I think he's being friendly. People around here are friendly, like we've seen in the movies, right?
I thought that was just make-believe, like superheroes or families that go to church.
No, that's a myth. This is real life.
Oh.
So, I live in that house over yonder. Name's Kevin.
Hi, Kevin. I'm Tiffany, she, her.
And I'm Steve, he, him.
What are your pronouns?
I don't believe in pronouns. I think they're reductive. In fact, just your asking about it is a microaggression.
Oh my gosh, I am so sorry. I didn't mean to.
No, it's okay. I'm just messing with you. I like all pronouns. My favorite is you.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Exactly. So, if you need anything, just holler. My wife and I'd be happy to help.
Baby, he has a gun.
I'm calling the cops.
I'm recording you.
No.
Recording
It's
you.
okay.
Good morning. I'm here to give you an update on the FBI's investigation of Secretary Clinton. What I want to do is tell you what we're recommending. But first, let me tell you what we found. 110 emails in 52 email chains have been determined to contain classified information.
What difference at this point does it make?
8 of those chains are top secret, 36 of those chains secret, and 8 contain confidential information.
What difference at this point does it make?
Everything I did was admitted. There was no law, no regulation.
Secretary Clinton should have known that an unclassified system was no place for that conversation.
I did not email any classified material to anyone on my email.
None of these emails should have been on any kind of unclassified system, not even Gmail.
Well, first of all, nothing was marked classified.
To the contrary,
Nothing was marked classified.
there is evidence,
Nothing was marked classified.
Now let me tell you what we
Oh
found.
my gosh.
110 emails.
It was not the best choice.
52 email chains.
It was a mistake.
Have been determined to contain classified information.
What difference at this point does it
8
make?
of those chains are top
Wasn't
secret.
the best choice.
36 of those chains
I said
secret.
it was a mistake.
And 8 contain confidential information.
What difference at this point does it
With
make?
respect to our recommendation, this is going to be an unusual statement in at least a couple of ways. Although there is evidence, our judgment is that no reasonable prosecutor would bring such a case. I know there will be intense public debate. I know there will be intense public debate. I know there will be intense public debate. What difference at this point does it make? 110 emails.
It wasn't the best choice.
52 email chains.
I made a mistake.
Have been determined to contain classified information.
What difference at this point does it
8
make?
of those chains are
It
top
was not a
secret.
good choice.
36 of those chains
I said it was a mistake.
and 8 contain confidential information.
What difference at this point does it make?
Hey y'all, how y'all doing tonight?
You know, you keep finding good stuff like that, and your intro is going to be the whole show.
Hey Ben, hey Lauren, hey Nora, hey Dorinda, hey Stan, let's see, hey Sharon, hey Nunya, let's see, hey Jeff, hey Anna, hey Frank, hey Carl,
What's up? And hello to everybody that he just said hello to.
hey Navy Vet, hey Deb, that's it. And hey, rest of y'all that ain't talking.
What's up, Lake or Bigfoot or both of you?
Bigfoot.
Or,
I think that's Bigfoot and Lake, unless they switch up. So,
you never know. You never really. What's up, Jody Terry? Lauren Price. Echo. Benji. The donuts and coffee are here.
link up if anybody wants to come up.
Are you like doubling yourself in chat? Are you Texas Twisted and Texas Psychobilly? Is there another Texan in there?
That's something picking up off of Twitter and what's the other one?
So that's you, though.
Yeah. Twitch and Twitter, I got them run on. I was running into Rumble, but now they blocked me. They won't let me in.
I don't know how many clones this earth can handle of you, man. What's up, Bobby?
Hey, Bobby.
Oh, I want that chocolate one, Benji.
Here's a little video for y'all. I probably shouldn't show it, but I thought it was funny enough. So.
Oh, it's going to be good then if you feel that way.
You keep lying saying I'm threatening you, so I'm recording to protect myself.
Can you please stop recording?
She's in a store.
Yeah. Crazy lady. Okay, she attacked me and try to say I attacked her. You look. Get away from me! Oh, y'all better get this lady! Get away from me! You're gonna get this. Get security! Get the fucker! Security! Look at this. Yes, can y'all get her away from me? Get her away from me! Oh, have mercy. Get her away from me!
Welcome to Walmart, huh? That ain't Walmart.
Get her away from me! No, I gotta just protect myself. She's trying to attack me. No.
What happens when you empty all the mental institutions?
It's to protect me. Once the law get here, who they gonna believe? Her white ass or my black ass? Get her away from me, please!
Okay, that's all I can take of that.
What a shriek that was. Holy moly.
Some kind of look like a mall clothing store or something. I don't know.
It's got to be a mental illness, or she's trying to sue somebody, or some kind of a scam. That's nuts.
That ain't a lack of hugs. That's a lack of a belt.
Deinstitutionalization just may have played a part in that crap.
That's what they're trying to turn everybody into. That these people ain't responsible enough or secure enough or anything. They don't need to have guns. They ain't able to pay their own bills. They damn sure can't vote. So here, we'll hand you a bunch of medicine. You take this. Call us when you're out. Oh, and by the way, go into these cities over here and we'll make sure you're 15 minutes close to everything.
Man, Chuck, I just it started bleeding again. This is my second nosebleed in a few days. I've never had nosebleeds like this. I can't believe, man. It looks like a murder scene around here.
Is it rainy there or dry?
It's dry. That's got to be what it is. Just never had this experience.
I know sinuses went haywire here. Never know what they're putting up there in the air either.
I've been bleeding like a stuck pig for an hour and a half.
You got any Vicks salve? Put it up, or maybe that'll make it run and quit.
No, I don't have none of that. Stick a wine cork up there. I don't know. Maybe it's like I was saying. Maybe it's like an engine. You know, when you put too much oil in it.
Yeah, you just overflowing with it.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. I did some Googling on it. It can't be nothing serious. There was a few reasons for it. It's probably a dry sinus.
Is it puff some weed, Carl?
Say again?
Ben said you need to puff on some weed.
Yeah, I'm running real low on that. I had to scrape some leftovers just to get there today.
Hey, Jody. Let's see. Hey, Mitch.
Just stick a joint in there. That's just it. I cleaned out my tray.
Thanks, good for.
There it is. So right there. I already used them all for tiki torches in the yard.
Hey, Double R. Mitch said stick a joint in it.
Yeah, I already buddied up the last doobie I rolled.
Buddy of mine, I know he had nosebleeds a lot. He'd take damn Carmex and put it on a Q-tip and rub it in his nose. I'm like, I don't know if I could handle that.
What did he use?
Carmex.
What is that?
That's that stuff that comes in a yellow tube. Looks like Vaseline, smells like medicine, and it's a little tube like you put it on your lips.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
It's supposed to help heal like chapped lips and fever sores or whatever you call them. And hey, Yorga. Them guys I work with in the shop, like he said, they all put some bar salt on a rag and wring it around up in there or some diesel. That'll stop it.
Well, I can't have that much blood in me. It's going to quit eventually. What's up, Jorgen?
Yeah, Wyatt said put some water on the boil. You imagine you ain't got a heater running though, so.
No, I don't need no heater. It's like in the 70s right now after dark.
Start your fire outside, put your pot of water on it, and then hang a towel over your head once it starts steaming.
That's reality too. It's too warm in this here. I gotta go outside to cook something up. I got a little grill all cast iron. It's called a Son of a Hibachi, and I love that thing. It all folds up in this little like that tote, but it's old. I had one in the 70s. I don't know where it went, and then I found one up in Port Huron on that marketplace here a couple years ago. And I dig this thing. It's a little cast iron grill. You can raise and lower the grate. It folds open. It's got a little, like an ash drawer in the bottom of it.
Yeah, I like them. Every one I ever had got broke, though. Somebody'd bump it and knock it over or push down on the rack and break the damn prongs off. Or...
Yeah, I can see that happening. What's up, Sharon?
Hey, Sharon.
It's a Son of a Hibachi, Yorga. It's way smaller than normal hibachi. It's like enough to, with the two sides, with the grills on there, I could probably do maybe 8 burgers at once.
Yeah, you ain't cooking for fucking 10, so.
No, yeah, it's perfect for me. I don't use charcoal. I just go get sticks.
Hey, you got all it around you, so.
Yep.
Hell, for all that goes charcoal, you could get a bunch of sticks, make you one of them double burners where you put one barrel inside of a small barrel in a bigger barrel, and you fill the middle barrel with wood and close it, and then start a fire in the barrel.
Yeah,
between.
I'm thinking small. You know, I got over to put stuff like that, so I got to think compact little stuff.
Yeah, stuff a coffee can and put it in some way, close it up or set it where it's sealed on the bottom where you can, and then put it in a bigger coffee can and start a fire in it. That way
that's a great question, Benji. Why do they call it a hamburger with clearly beef?
Yeah, ain't no damn ham in it. That's the kind of question my mind was asking me the other day when I took that damn gummy.
Yeah, do penguins have knees?
Yeah, no. You know what the color red tastes like?
Yeah. I'm just waiting. Yeah, there it is. I was just waiting for a mustard comment from Yorga, and there it was.
Only the kind that makes a stained ring around it, huh?
I'm sorry, Bonnie.
Sorry to hear that, Bonnie. Let me know if you need me or talk or anything. You know I'm always here.
Hey!
What you doing, man?
I came to start some trouble. So they took down last night's podcast, but then they put it back up.
Oh, I was going to say, somebody told me it was taken down, and I went and I could watch it.
Yep.
So that was weird.
Yeah, it was down for about from about 6 o'clock this morning, my time, until about 1:30 or 2 o'clock this afternoon. So,
did they give you a reason?
No.
What's up, Dagmar?
But I trimmed off the music at the beginning of it, and after I trimmed that off, it came right back up. So I'm going to forward. I got to forward this to myself via Signal. But an interesting letter was sent to me today, a news release that was issued by the Indiana governor, or the Indiana Attorney General, I should say. And it correlates with a few different things. So, I'm making sure that I save this here so that I can transfer this over relatively quick. So these things that I'm going to present to you kind of correlates with a certain board that we know about, along with some particular things that were going to happen during that period of time. Do you remember how they were talking about the 10 days of darkness? Well, so I'm going to, and we already know that there's a certain amount of attacks that are going on. People are, there's some people going around the country trying to shut power plants down, right? We've all seen the articles about that stuff, right? So what ended up happening was this was sent to me, and I thought that it was something that kind of needed to be talked about now, before before pretty much people would just forget about it. You know what I mean? Because they'll read something real quick and then it just kind of it slips their mind. It goes in one ear and out the other. Okay, and I thought that this was extremely interesting, and I wanted to share it with you if I can. It's up to you, Chuck, if I can or not. I did the present thing on the thing there. If you want to bring up that window. So this is a letter from, like I said, this is from the Attorney General of the state of confusion. I think I made it a little bit too big. Okay. All right. So Attorney General Todd Rokita released the following statement Thursday in response to new rules proposed by the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency that would impose drastic hardships on power plants. With these new proposed rules, the Biden administration continues to wage war not only against the U.S. energy companies, but also against all the everyday Americans who rely on energy simply to maintain their homes and take care of their families. Experts confirm that the new rules will lead to the shutdown of U.S. power plants and to hikes in the prices Hoosiers pay for electricity and natural gas. Those adversely impacted would include elderly seniors on fixed incomes. These cruel proposals are a direct attack on the little guy for whom Biden and his bureaucrats apparently have zero concern or sympathy for. Fortunately, the courts will almost certainly strike down these new EPA mandates, and on behalf of Hoosiers, I'll do everything in my power to ensure that happens. Attorney General Rokita has helped lead multi-state legal efforts against other instances of the EPA federal overreach as well, such as suing the Biden administration to protect Hoosiers' jobs and property and freedom from a rule redefining navigable waters under the Clean Water Act. You can read more about it online. So this is one of them. So you know, and just so that people get an idea of what we were talking about in regards to 10 Days of Darkness, boom, 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 boom. A week to remember, dark to light, blackout necessary. Okay. Now, this is the cool thing is the guy, there was an Anon who responded, okay, to that and said, watch the news, leakers exposed, these people are stupid, that letter. And then the Anon says, I have a question. The 10 days, darkness, when? And shut down. Okay. So when you look at those and then you look at this letter sent out by the Attorney General, it basically puts things into a perspective for people to understand how they can get away with doing this using a federal mandate to all of these organizations to shut things down. You know, because there's one thing that I do know. Energy companies need to produce energy. Why? Because energy produces money. Hey, take it outside. You did not just steal my pan, did you? What the hell? They stole my ziti and friggin' cheese pan. You? All right, I'll get you in a minute. But sorry. Yeah, they love me. They do. They love me. They love my cooking. They love my cooking. Can you believe that? The dogs love my cooking. But you know, I thought that this was interesting. Slow Country sent this over to me because, of course, that's his home state.
He's a good researcher too.
Yes, he is. Yeah, he takes a lot of time to do stuff. You know, so I wanted to share that with you guys because what each and every one of you should be doing is contacting your Attorney General and tell them, you know, you need to put a stop to the EPA. You know, and the only way that we can get them to do what we want is by applying pressure. Okay. You know, everybody talks about, you know, well, you know, I'm only one person. What can I do? Well, you know what? There's 330 million one persons in America. Okay. And their game is over. Their board is spilled as soon as we, the people, excuse my French in saying this, stand the fuck up. Okay. It is time. Okay. So, you know, you need to do something in your state to ensure your rights to have the energy that you pay for coming to your home, you know, so yeah. So I just wanted to throw that out there. I thought that was, a highlight of the day. I got to finally watch Trump's town hall yesterday, and he's right. That woman that was interviewing him is 100% nasty.
Yes, she was.
I could come up with about 300 other words to use to describe her, but nasty fits. Okay, so we'll go with nasty. And I apologize for dropping the F-bomb like that. You know, it's I tend to use a little vulgarity in my ministry because sometimes the only way that people wake up is if you speak the language that they know.
It's just weird you brought up that 10 days of darkness, because just a little while ago I saw a report about a Russian spacecraft that's returned to Earth that was docked with some unknown object that they think may be something they can target satellites with. And I thought to myself, please let it be the media satellites. Please let it be the media satellites.
No, I think because of the way that reads, you know, it's telling us to watch the news. Okay. And I understand. I don't like Fox. I don't like CNN. I don't like MSNBC. I don't like ABC. I don't like NBC. I don't like CBS because I know what they've been doing.
That sounds a bit like you don't like green eggs and ham.
Well, you know, I like eggs, but if they turned green, I think that there might be something wrong with them.
And they used to serve us green eggs.
Yellow mustard around the ham.
You know, they used to serve us green eggs, Hawk, in the juvie. They would make powdered eggs in stainless steel pans, and they would turn green.
Well, see, Dr. Seuss must have spent some time there then.
That was in Canada. That was in Canada.
I'm sorry, Yorga. What was that?
I said that was in Canada. That's the only place they have the green eggs and ham.
It's bacon.
Right. They call it bacon there.
I have yet to see the green chicken, so I can't believe that there would actually be green eggs unless there was a green chicken.
Hey, T. Dragon.
Well, but listen to this. What a great story Green Eggs and Ham was. And now that's a banned book in their schools. But they'll put other books in their schools for young children talking about you know what, man. You know, it's like, what in the hell? They're going to ban Dr. Seuss or Fahrenheit 451?
Well, the reason that they do that, the reason that they're banning those is because of the fact if they remove all the specialized children's books, the books that we grew up on, if they remove all of those, okay, then they have an open avenue in order to drop everything else on. Give me 1 second. T-Girl, I'm not saying hi to you, okay? So you just stop.
I'm saying hi to her because she just said I was handsome.
Suck ups. Suck ups.
That's how she gets you, Yorga. That's how she gets you.
I don't care. I'll suck up to that shit. Give it to me. Give it to me, baby. Is that her? Who was that?
I can't help you. I try. I try to help you, but I can't.
I know you do. I know you do, Hawk. I love you, baby. I know you try to help me out all you can.
Yeah.
I think you got Hawk here talking all about that mustard.
Maybe Beth, do you know the answer to my question above? Her question above was, what was Bonnie's question?
Oh, okay. What was it?
Doesn't a state of emergency for an invasion set out the military not to process, but to stop and deport? Okay. So, I can give a little bit of a response to that. There have been a bunch of videos dropped today in regards to them turning them back at the border, telling them basically what the agents or the military people there are doing. They're not letting people pass them, okay? And they're telling them that if you enter the country this way, you will not be able to file you won't be able to file any paperwork with the United States. You will be banned from being able to come to this country legally.
And you know what? I don't mean to break you off, but you know who they all are? They're Venezuelans. Venezuela is way the hell down in South America.
Dude, in that video today, they were showing Chinese. They were showing there was Venezuelans. There was people from the Dominican Republic. There was
Yeah.
people from Honduras. No,
We're all
not Honduras,
Mexicans.
yeah, Honduras.
All the Mexicans are here already. They're already here. So it's everybody else that's filtering in from Haiti and places like that, man. It's like, what the hell? Shit.
Some of those Mexicans had camels pictures, and some of the other ones were carrying walks. So that tells you something.
Yep.
Do they have camels in Mexico? Holy shit. I guess they do now. Is it a one hump or a double humper? I don't know.
Probably one, because the fentanyl made the other one droop.
I'd pay for the double humper. I mean, I'd go ahead and pay the extra money for the double humper.
Yeah.
What do they call that? Dromadine or Dromadine?
You can carry more shit with a double humper.
Yeah. So, so basically there is an initiative to turn people back. Again, these guys can't cover the entire border.
No, they can't.
I have no idea how long that the miles of border are. Okay. But you would have to figure,
I want to say about 500. I want to say about 500 miles, I think.
So you would have to have between 25 to 50 soldiers for every mile.
Yep.
Okay. And then in that same thought, you would have to say that you would have to have 50 reserve for each mile, because when they try to come in on one section, then all the military is going to go to that section, and then they're going to start filtering in through the sections that those guys just left their posts to go.
But even if we had the entire border, encased in that wall, which is 30 feet high or whatever, they're going to figure out a way to either go under or over or whatever. So then you still got to have at least, 6,000 soldiers that are working that, 500 some miles or whatever.
The total length of the U.S. border is 1,954 miles.
There you go. It's way further than what I thought.
So just for that alone, you're talking a necessary minimum, 50,000 troops on the border.
And I think
any given time. That means at any given time. That doesn't mean 50,000 and getting rotated. No, we're talking 50. The entire 50,000 being rotated every 8 hours.
If they wouldn't have gave them so much trouble about finishing that wall, we wouldn't be having this trouble.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm going to tell you, whether anybody has done any deep research into how that wall was constructed and everything else, I believe that there is going to be a very separate point of that wall being there. And honestly, I believe that it has to do with power generation.
The design of that wall being all metal and grounded like it is, there does be an alternate purpose that no one seems to be talking about.
If there was a couple of Tesla towers in that area, that would become an electric fence.
Yeah.
Look, here's my, and people hate me for saying this, and I hope I don't get in trouble for saying it, but I'm a big fan of landmines. Throw landmines out there, and you don't really have to have so much of a wall, because you never know where you're going to step, baby. You know what I mean? I hate to say it. And all it's going to take is some child to get blown up by a landmine, and they're going to go, oh, shit, But
they sell their kids. What makes you think that having a kid blown up is going to be a deterrent? They're going to use them like the military used mules during the First and the Second World War.
Exactly.
Okay? They would send mules out there to walk on the mines. And that's exactly what they would do with the kids. If they're willing to sell their kids, to rape their kids, to sell them into sex slavery and everything else, what makes you think that they won't use them like they used the mules in World War I and World War II? I hate to say that. I'm sorry, but
no. I hated to say what I had to say, but you are exactly right, though, Hawk. You're exactly right. So that's not a good solution, I suppose. But
what's up, Blaine, Jerry, James?
Yep. And that's it's they're indiscriminate killing machines. Okay. They don't know whether it's a kid or an adult that steps on it. All through the Vietnam War, I because of the VFW and the American Legion and AMVETS, I deal and talk with a large quantity of vets, and they tell me the stories about what was going on in Vietnam, what was going on in Korea during the Korean War, and they would tell you, they would set up claymores and all these other devices, exploding devices, trip lines, for grenades and things like that, and kids would go through there. And, and the thing is those were being set up for an enemy, but those children were never the enemy,
No, I'm with you, man. I am totally with you on that. Yeah.
Hey, Gal, Miss Minor Sue.
So, actually, you've just shut down my landmine theory, but rightfully so.
Fill them with confetti. Fill them with confetti instead of explosives. Glow in the dark confetti that sticks to whoever it lands on, and make them spray that confetti out like glitter. Because like when your girlfriend puts on some glitter, and you go to kiss her, then you end up with a little bit of glitter all over your face and stuff like that. Only have it confetti sized, and it sticks and it doesn't come off. And you know what I mean? So
I do know what you mean, and I've seen those glitter bombs that people will put on their front porch to get the porch pirates to pick it up, and they open it up and it's glitter goes everywhere. No, I'm a big fan of that shit.
Glitter bombs and fart spray, that'll work.
Yeah. No, I have a friend up in the Portland area. He made a poop bomb so that when they open the lid, it sprayed out diarrhea.
Oh yeah. Oh,
beautiful.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, guards. Hey, Pootie.
Yep.
That is beautiful.
It was.
They'll never come back again. They'll never come back to your house again.
No, they won't. Nope.
Nope. Benjamin Kandari.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry I came on and dropped some news like that and stuff, but Chuck, I didn't want to do a whole podcast just to talk about those one or two issues. I hope you don't mind. I apologize if I overextended myself.
You didn't. I'm constantly.
No. You're good. You're good. We love having you, Hawk. You always have good things to say.
Well, God wants us to take care of each other as human beings. Okay. It doesn't matter what nationality you are. Okay. He wants mankind looking out for mankind and helping mankind. But the thing is,
I see like Benji's comment. Did any of those guys bring any good weed with them over the border?
Well, no, because they're bringing fentanyl and everything else.
Dang it.
But the thing
It'd
is,
be a lot harder in this country if they had good weed. What's up, Byron? Good to see you.
So yesterday morning, I and this was one of the reasons why I did the podcast last night. And I meant to talk about this last night on the podcast. I was rudely awoken yesterday morning by the sheriffs. And, at first I was like, okay, one of the dogs must have got out of the from under one of the fences or something again. And they said, no, your dogs are fine. Your dogs are fine. He says, as a matter of fact, if you want to open up your back gate and let the dogs run on the rest of your property, he said, I would appreciate that.
Ooh.
And I was like, okay, why? What's going on? He says, oh, you got 40 campers at the edge of your property. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah. He says, between your property and Crookshanks, who's he's my next door neighbor. They did a strip right along the last line of trees on my property. So if you weren't looking in between the trees when you were driving up the road, you wouldn't even know they were there. And the sheriff just happened to pull somebody over for speeding at the very edge of my property. And he looked over and he saw smoke coming out of the trees. Now the sheriffs have been out to my property probably 60, 70 times since I've been here in 2016. Okay. Most of the time it's because of break-ins and things like that, other times it's because they want to know if they can access my cameras because a house was robbed up the street or something. And they wanted to see if my cameras caught the license plate of the vehicle and stuff like that. And I have no problem helping, with situations like that. And he said, "Did you give him permission?" I was like, "No." I says, "I had no idea," So I took and I let the dogs out the backside, and Gunner took off straight to that area. And I was like, "Oh God, Gunner's going to bite somebody." And the sheriff said, "Don't worry about it." He says, "They don't belong here." He says, "If they get bit on your property for trespassing," he says, "I'm not going to hold your dog accountable," but we all got there at the same time. Gunner kept circling back. He'd run ahead about 20 yards and then come back, and he'd run ahead again, as we're walking forward. But he wasn't kidding. There was between 35 to 40 people and kids that were
I just seen recently where they just made living in a tent legal in Oregon, and I hear it's got the most lackadaisical squatters laws of any state. Has that got something to do with that?
Yep.
So how long have they been there? How long could they? How long would they have to be there before they can consider themselves squatting there?
30 days. 30 days.
Damn.
So if they stay hidden for 30 days, then they can't do nothing about it.
Can't do nothing about it. But they have to be able to prove that they were there for 30 days. You know what I mean?
That's messed up, man. That's super messed up.
Yep. Squatters' rights, and it's happening all over. It's happening all over the place.
In a way, the tent thing, I know they're doing it for the wrong reasons, but this literally is the only country on earth where it's not acceptable socially for somebody to live in a tent. Which is, if you know tents, you get a yurt is darn near a summer home. So some of the restrictions on that are ridiculous, but I think they're allowing the tents because of the homeless. They're endorsing that.
It's like the homeless from all around the country are coming here. And California and Washington.
Man, I'm glad they're not coming here. Because I've got 2 acres, man. I could have, and it's not wooded either. It's clear land, I could wake up one day and somebody's got a tent out on my shit, and it'd be like, get the hell out of here. Well, I'll get them out of here. I don't care if it's legal or not. But it hasn't. Luckily, I know. Luckily, it hasn't happened yet.
Thanks, Cowboy, for that. I was waiting to see who we picked.
Yeah. NBC Universal head of advertising Linda Yaccarino is in talks to become the new CEO of Twitter, according to people familiar with the situation. Wall Street Journal reports. Well, this is what I'll say is I'm still banned from Twitter, so I don't give a shit.
So you see her hands go above her face once. Watch when they come back down.
I just don't care. I don't care.
I see you, Jerry.
And honestly, I think Truth Social are a lot better. There are absolutely no restrictions on Truth Social. As long as you're putting truth out there, nobody does anything.
I tested that. When I first got my Truth Social. I went out there and said things I knew I wouldn't get away with here, and nobody did anything about it.
Yeah. So, but so with the sheriff wise, I got out there at 8 a.m. It took us until 3 o'clock in the afternoon to get them out of there.
They did leave.
Oh yeah. Yep. They're all gone. and I've already walked the dogs out there 3 times since then. So once last night and then twice today. So, yep, I'd say you're not squatting here, because I'm not going to have you trying to come into my stuff to try and steal stuff to do stuff on your part, in your area. It's not going to happen. Yeah,
and they always raid the area.
Ain't gonna happen, man. I'm with you, Hawk. Ain't gonna freaking happen.
Yeah.
You didn't work all your life to have a plot of land for somebody just to squat on that shit, man. Yep. Come on.
Yep.
No, I ain't doing that.
But we're talking multiple languages too, so it was like there were couples. Like I said, there was a few kids. I would say probably 12 kids in a total.
Damn.
The youngest was probably maybe 6 months old.
Holy crap! Yeah.
And the others were between like 3 and I'd say 3 and 10 in that range there. Just seeing how big kids are today.
Yeah, and you got to feel sorry for them a little bit. Like, I'd like to help you, but
I'm struggling myself.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
And it's not the, and the thing is that, you need water and things like that. I don't have water for you. My water is off. I got a 275 gallon tank here that I take over and get refilled at the creek, and I haul it back over here. And if you think you're taking anything away from my dogs in order to do what you want to do, you're out of your mind. I will take care of my dogs. I take care of my dogs before I take care of myself.
Hey, Mark, do you remember the M149 Water Buffalo 500 gallon water trailers?
Yep. Yes, I do.
Sometimes you can find those cheap because guys just get them and they never use them.
Yep.
So
They've been there too.
Yeah. Well, it was. I knew the water was going to get turned off. I mean, because there was no point in paying $154 a month for water service when I used less than 100 gallons of water.
Yeah.
The dogs, they go through maybe between 3 to 5 gallons of water a day, and that's it.
I have a well, so I don't have to pay like a county water bill or any shit like that. Thank God, man. But I still have to have the pump and the pressure tank and all that sort of stuff, to keep it going. If I lose electricity, I lose water. Unless I can go out to my well and dip it out of there with buckets or some shit,
Yep.
Your first investment for that Yorga, I'd figure out how many amps that pump pulls, and I'd get you a solar thing just for that, and work from there if you want to add on to your house and stuff.
Yep. So Echo says, but they just passed a law in Oregon for squatters. You can be fined for telling them to leave your property now. They had to prove that they were there for 30 days first. Okay, so this is what the sheriff said to me. He said that in Polk County, he says the county makes the rules in regards to the squatters that are in Polk County. They're not listening to the governor or anybody else. The sheriffs are the ones who they're basically my sheriffs in the area that I'm at consider themselves the law of the land. Okay. Right. It was like the first time that they ever came out to talk to me, the first thing I mentioned to them was about the Constitution, and they said, we are constitutional sheriffs here. And I was like, all right, we can get along, because like my dogs, it's when I open up that fence, when I open up that gate and they get to run on the rest of the, the 26 other acres that are not fenced in. Okay. It's because they need running room, and, people were calling and saying, oh, my dogs were running around on the property, on my property, complaining about my dogs running around on my property. And, the sheriff kept telling him he owns the property. He lives there. His dogs live there. So he can do what he wants. He says, as long as the dogs aren't coming onto your property, you have nothing you can say about it.
Thank you.
And it's that simple. So, so the idea of it is, if I'm gonna keep taking the dogs out there, and it was like where one of the big tents was set up today. 3 of the dogs went into that area and all crapped in that area. I'm going to take them out there every time I know that they definitely got to go. We're walking that way, and we're going to fill that whole section of land with poop, and then
make sure you fill some buckets of water too, and leave them where they can't see them, so they'll spawn a bunch of mosquitoes for them.
I'll tell you what, I really have not seen an accumulation of mosquitoes here in Oregon at all. You see a few of them, but that's it.
You usually take somewhere where water sits and it has to be moist and kind of swampy areas and whatever. And if you're in a real dry area or rocky area and all that, then they don't normally hang out much.
Yeah. And I flood here, it was up until like 2 days ago, I still had standing water here, but it's all cleaned out now. So, which is good. Hopefully the rain stays away.
You get in trouble for booby trap stuff, DJ, but that would be fun. I guess you could make non-harmful booby traps just for the fun of it.
Yeah. And it's funny because they basically camped on the fence line, and the dogs crap on the fence line. That's what they're taught to do. Go right to the fence and walk around the fence and poop along the fence. So it was like when I've had people live out here, they're like, I want to put some flowers up against the fence. No, you don't. No, you don't. Do a couple of raised beds and do all the flowers you want. You don't want to go out there and do that because the dogs be crapping on where you're putting your flowers.
They might make some pretty flowers though. The dog crap.
You know what? I have never found any good use of dog poop other than a burglar deterrent.
Well, well better than I do, my friend.
Yeah. I've never seen it. It's if I had seen some really good plant growth because of dog poop, Christ, I'd have been growing pot with it,
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Hey, dogs, come here. I don't need to
I think it's more of a cow crap thing. The cow crap is pretty good, right?
A classic example.
Yeah, cow, horse, goat, pig. Pig poop is super, super high in nitrogen, even higher so than what chicken is. So you have to cut that back big time, or else you will fry your plants.
Good to see you, Grandma Merkel. Wow.
Yep, bamboo loves poop. You're correct. Yeah, we have the mimosa plant out here, which basically is bamboo, and basically it grows about an inch underneath the surface, and it makes a big web under the ground, and it pops up everywhere. You can go and pull up one part of a mimosa, and then all of a sudden you see the carpet raise. A whole inch of topsoil and everything goes with it, and you see the big web of the way that it roots. It's nasty stuff. It really is. It's more of a nuisance than anything else. But it does.
Did you ever notice that Grandma Merkel's always looking at her butt?
Say that again.
So Grandma Merkel's always looking at her butt. She's always coming into the chat saying, "Hello, all you fine ass people."
I don't know. I'm usually sitting on my ass when I'm on here, so they don't get to see my butt.
Hey, G-Ma.
I think they were talking about me.
Here's a video for y'all.
You better wake up and find out. Has been around you all of your life. You just didn't see it.
A classic example, a humorous one to start with, a more serious later. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of this. It's been around for a while. Abraham Lincoln was elected to Congress in 1846. John Kennedy was elected to Congress in 1946. Abe Lincoln was elected president in 1860. John Kennedy was elected president in 1960. The names Lincoln and Kennedy both contain 7 letters. Both presidents were particularly concerned with civil rights. Both of the president's wives lost children while living in the White House. Both presidents were shot on a Friday in the head. President Lincoln's secretary was named Miss Kennedy. Kennedy's secretary was named Miss Lincoln. Both were assassinated by Southerners. Both were succeeded by Southerners. Andrew Johnson, who succeeded Lincoln, was born in 1808. Lyndon Johnson, who succeeded Kennedy, was born in 1908. John Wilkes Booth, who assassinated Lincoln, was born in 1839. Lee Harvey Oswald, who assassinated Kennedy, in 1939. Both assassins were known by 3 names: John Wilkes Booth, Lee Harvey Oswald. Both names are comprised of 15 letters. President Lincoln was shot in a theater named Ford. Kennedy was shot in a car named Lincoln, made by Ford. John Wilkes Booth ran to a theater and was caught in a warehouse. Oswald ran from a warehouse and was caught in a theater. Booth and Oswald were both assassinated before they could go to trial. And a week before Lincoln was shot, he was in Monroe, Maryland. A week before Kennedy was shot, he was with Marilyn Monroe.
Kind of weird.
Oh yeah, yeah. So I just got this one here, but I'm not going to read it out loud, but I will share it. And don't nobody read it. Just show it and then take it down after about 30 seconds. You got 30 seconds to watch this, folks.
Yep.
That was just released.
A lot of people are like, why are people putting magnets over the meat? It's because a lot of areas are most of your livestock have been injected.
But a certain
I've heard a couple reports saying that 1 billion people, more than normal, 1 billion more have left the planet since 2021.
They what? You cut out.
I've seen reports that there has been 1 billion people removed from this earth since 2021, more than the average annual death toll.
Yep.
And less births because of abortions and other things.
That's a good idea, Echo. I'll remember that.
More child deaths over the past 3 years than any other time until they come out with new pokies. And every time they come out with new pokies, you have a high infantile death.
I'm not a young man. I'm 63 years old, but I've lost 3 close friends over the past 3 months. That just,
I'm sorry, a lot of staff. I've seen the people talking about it. Echo, how did you even know about punji sticks? Did you know that the Viet Cong used to pee and crap on those after they sharpened them up?
Yeah, that's a way of infection.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Echo knows stuff.
But yeah, it's been crazy the last 3 or 4 months for me. I've just lost people. People have fallen around down all around me that are my age. You know, I'm like, what the hell? How come I'm left? You know, I did take the jab twice, and I went no more. And the only reason I did is because I was playing in a band that we were booked in places that if you didn't have documentation, you couldn't play there. You know what I mean? And so that's what we had to do. And but I was like, oh, I don't want to do this, but I did.
Happy birthday, sweet pea.
And they were talking about the third jab. And they were talking about the third jab. And I went, no, hell no, I ain't doing it. I did 2. Kiss my ass. I'm not doing no more. I did all y'all wanted me to do, which I didn't want to do any of it. I wish I hadn't. Because God only knows what's in me, man. God only knows what's inside of my blood. Anyway, I didn't mean to stifle the freaking chat.
Yeah, you did.
Well,
Conservative Cowboy says just in federal court in Florida blocked Biden regime from releasing illegal aliens from Border Patrol custody without court notices. GWP reports.
There you go.
Yeah. Hey.
What?
Oh, I was talking to the dogs. I'm sorry. I know it gets confusing. I talk to them like they're my children, you know, because they basically are, you know.
I'm just one of the dogs, baby.
Oh, it's her birthday today. I have to.
I was waiting for that.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear T girl. Happy birthday to you. No, I'm joking.
I told you she was going to get you.
My blood has 50% weed. And that's, hey, you know, I resemble that.
For real though, Benji, if I die, you guys should dry my lungs out. There's got to be some really good resin there after 50 years of good weed.
Yeah. And when you can grow your own, it's even better. That's what I would say. Take me out and plant me.
You know what's even better? Hawk, you know what's even better than that? I've got 2 friends that grow their own, and they give me free shit all the time. So I don't have to grow it or deal with it or anything. It's like,
God bless the generous people.
I know, and I don't smoke that much. A little bit every day, you know. So it works out good for me, and I don't have to. It always seemed growing weed always seemed complicated to me. You know, you gotta have the female plants and the male plants. You gotta separate them, and you gotta throw off. I'm like, man, I ain't doing all that shit. You know?
Well,
I grew some last year, but I smoked it right up.
Yeah,
Didn't last
I don't want buds filled with seeds, you know, because then you go to roll a joint, and
I don't get any from the people that give me stuff. I haven't seen a seed in years.
Yeah,
I swear I have not. So they know what they're doing.
Yeah, you know, I tell people, you know, there's a surefire way that when you grow a plant that you can get a couple of seeds in order to keep the strain. Okay. And it's basically you leave the 2 lowest branches on.
The low hanging fruit.
Yep. And basically what it is as the plant is getting ready to die, the middle of that branch, the buds that are in the very middle of it are going to end up having a couple of seeds in there so that you can, so that the plant can go on. Okay. The plant knows it. Yep. The plant knows it's going to die, and it wants to make sure that it can go on. So, and in most cases, those seeds are 100% feminine or female seeds. Okay.
Oh, wow.
You know, and basically what would happen is, you know, the fall winds would come in. It would shake the seeds off of the plant, or the buds off of the plant, shake it off. Okay. Then you got the rain, the late rain in fall, which would pound it into the ground. Okay. Then you get your freezing weather, which would dormant the seed. And then you have the spring thaw and the spring rains, which would then allow the plant to, to root and, or germinate and root and then start to grow. You know, so it's basically wild. That's where that old set talking about wildwood seeds. You know,
wildweed. Yeah.
And honestly, wildweed in depending on what region in the United States you're in, can be 100 times better than anything grown by any professional grower ever. You know,
I don't know. All I know is I have friends that give me stuff that doesn't have any seeds, and it's good, and I'm happy. And so, as far as the growing part, I mean, it's incredibly interesting and whatnot, but I'm not doing it because I know I'll screw it up. You know,
it ain't hard, Yoga. You could do it. I grew it outside.
Yeah, but I have. I'm even going to tell you. I got a daughter that's like 43, and she's like, "Dad, here, try some of this." You know, like, okay. And so I never have to worry about having any. I don't have a lot, but I got a little bit. You know, enough for this old man that I am.
Got the belly, what you said.
What's that?
I'm talking to the dog.
Oh, sorry.
I'm not going to tell you I'm going to scratch your belly if you say.
I'm just saying.
Okay, I'm sorry. That's all right.
He's more important than I am.
Yeah, it's just a little bit weird. Okay.
Hawk, read Tennessee Ridge Runner's comment.
Maybe it all started with God pointing me in Hawk's direction. God knew I needed someone to tell me the truth and set me to Hawk's man. Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm a big fan of God.
Yep.
I pray every single day, and nobody ever sees me. And I just do it because
they're not supposed to. What did Jesus tell everybody to do? Go in your room, close your door.
Well, wait a minute now. Are you praying for like hot women or something, Yorga?
What's that?
Are you praying for hot women or something?
No, I would never do that.
All right. Just checking. I'm just checking.
No, yeah, that's a fair question. I would never do that. I just pray the things that we're supposed to pray, the 10 Commandments. You know what I mean? Since I've retired, I keep the Sabbath holy. I try my best I can, which is Friday night at dusk till Saturday night at dusk. It's not Sunday. It's never been Sunday.
Nope.
It's never anywhere in the Bible you can't find Sunday as a Sabbath. It ain't there. I don't have a problem with people who celebrate it then because they're trying to find God or whatever. I don't know where I was going with this, but yeah.
I pray more than I ever have, Yorga. I go into these chats, I see people divulging their pain and suffering in this life, and if I'm not going right along with the panel or chat, then I've said a lot of prayers for a lot of people over the last few years. I'm like a secret prayer,
That's
I
a
like
great
to pray for other people.
That's a great thing to be, and especially if it's just between you and God. Nobody else needs to know. Nobody else needs to know any of that stuff. That's the way it's supposed to be. Between you and God, have a relationship. Have a like not just. I used to hate, and I don't want to go up on a rant, and I'm not going to, but I used to hate. Let me put myself back on camera, just so I get a little more credibility. I would go into my cafeteria at work, and certain people I worked with would do a prayer, and they go, hum, and start eating. And I was like, God doesn't want a mantra. He doesn't want, he wants you to go stop and go, my Holy Father, thank you for everything I have. I'm not going to go into all the things. Everybody knows the Lord's Prayer, but you shouldn't just say the Lord's Prayer every time and just rush through it so you can get to your chicken dinner. You should take your time and speak to him like he's a person, just like we're speaking right now. I'm sorry not to be preachy, but that's how
Yeah,
I feel.
Echo just had to make it weird.
Well, here's a little something for y'all to look at.
I stumbled upon some crazy shit this morning. I'm not even gonna say anything. I'm just gonna let you watch the screen recording, come back to the comments, and tell me what you think, because this to me is wild. So I stumbled across this website this morning called bitelabs.org. So they're saying that they can take tissue and muscle from celebrities and mix it with animal meat and some other things and grow actual meats out of it in a lab. What they do, they say they take myosatellite cells obtained by biopsy. It can be found in adult muscle that repair and regrow damaged muscle. So they say the benefits are, if you eat this meat from these healthy people, these healthy adults, it's going to help you get stronger, your blood flow is going to be better, your heart rate's going to be better, your muscles will grow stronger. I personally would never eat human meat, but this is a 100% real website. You can check it out for yourself. Come back in the comments, let me know what you think.
That's
Ain't
scary.
that nasty? That's nasty.
Soylent Green. Oh my goodness, they made it real.
What about if you became a cannibal but you didn't know it? What about if there was some sort of meat out there that you didn't know was human?
Oh, McDonald's?
Yes, something like that. And,
Hey, Yorkie, cannibals don't eat clowns because they taste funny?
Tastes fun. Yeah, I've seen that joke. But I don't know, man. I mean, I was always a fan of pink slime because it was just them scraping the bones down to nothing. And it's like, that's all meat. I'm good with pink slime. I'm all right
If
with it.
that's all it really was, I'd be fine with it too. But I don't trust them. You saw that little thing that Hawk showed 15 minutes ago? Now, since they're willing to do that to us, I don't trust much as it is. But now you're going to have to wonder about your water sources and your food sources and what you're putting on your skin.
I don't trust any of them, but if a hamburger tastes good, then a hamburger tastes good, man. I mean,
this is messed up, man. This is what rodents feel like when the exterminator shows up, guys.
Hamburger tastes like Bob.
Yeah, it brings a whole new meaning to go eat a dick, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Pissed off, actually.
Somebody tell me to go eat a dick.
I was telling my son that stuff on there, it brings a whole nother meaning to go eat a dick.
I was going to say, I don't want to, but.
Yorga, this feels like information you need to know. There's a company out there where you can order somebody a bag of candy dicks and send it to them anytime you want.
No, that ain't nothing I need to know, my friend.
From the age of 6 until I was about 14, I was told by my brothers that hot dogs were pigs' wieners.
Yep.
Oh, God. You can never eat a hot dog at the drive-in movie theater.
He told me that so I would never eat any of the hot dogs out of the refrigerator.
Oh, what a dick.
Yeah.
Oh, that's real.
My brother used to tell me when I was a little kid, and we had bunk beds, and I was up in the top one, right? He told me there was a black snake that would sneak into your room, and we had a creek right down next to our house. He said, there's a black snake will sneak into your room and bite you on the big toe. And I don't know whatever happened after he bit you on the big toe, but it scared me to death. And to this day, I hate my brother for saying that shit to me. It's a big black snake. It come and bite you on the big toe.
Yeah. That's when you go to bed with steel toe shoes on.
Well,
Thank you, God, for never giving me a brother. No one of us would have died.
Yeah, I'm the third of youngest of 14.
We used to do this thing where I would sneak down to the top bunk and just beat the shit out of him, you know. when I knew he was snoring, he was sleeping and stuff. And then I'd go back up top and I'd go to sleep, and he'd sneak up into my bunk somehow, and he would beat the living hell out of me, man. We were both dicks. We were dicks, both of us.
11 before me and 2 after.
That's a lot of people.
Great God. We only had 4. I had 2 older sisters and me and my brother. That was it.
You know how alien that is to somebody like me? That always just it blew my mind to see people with that many kids. I'd go over and visit some family that had 12 kids. There was like things going on in every direction, you know. It was overwhelming.
And every one of them, I've had 4 kids, and every one comes out different. And every single, so I can only imagine having 12, and they all come out different. You know, some of them look a little bit the same, some of them are different or whatever. You know, they're all going to fight. You know, that's what you're made to do. We all fought. Even my sisters fought against each other. They had some of the greatest fights. They were better than the WWE, man. My sisters fight. Holy shit. We were in the garage one time. I was only about 4 or 5 years old, and one sister picked up half a brick. It was a half a brick, not a whole brick, but a half a brick. Threw it at my other sister, hit her in the head. My oldest sister. She's bleeding and shit. Looked like Ric Flair or something, man. She goes down, and her hand goes right onto a bicycle chain. That's a bicycle chain that's not like in a loop. It's like undone, right? And she laid there for a minute, and I'm going, holy shit. And she gets up and wears my other sister out with this bicycle chain, man. And I'm going, man, this is like this is way before pay-per-view, but I'm thinking, because they weren't mad at me. I watched the whole damn thing. It was horrible, man. It was a lot of blood. It was a lot of blood. It was like a freaking ECW match.
I miss ECW.
Oh, do you ever get porcupines where you're at?
I have not seen any, but I've heard of some in Eastern Oregon. Yeah.
I just wondered them dogs, man. We had a Great Dane that used to love to kill porcupines. He would mangle them to death. But then we'd be up all night long with a beach towel all the way in the back of his mouth, pulling quills out of his eyeballs, tongue, the roof of his mouth. I pulled thousands of quills out of that dog. He just wouldn't learn.
Wow.
Yeah, seeing that we're going to be moving pretty much into the national forest, I think that we may experience some of that in the future here. But I don't know. I don't know. It's, with the amount of water we get here, we have very few skunks in my area. And I haven't seen any porcupines. No armadillos. Armadillo is just a possum with a shell.
It is.
Yeah, down in Missouri. Sorry, go ahead.
I just said we used to call it possum on the half shell.
When I was down in Missouri 5 years ago, everybody was warning me not to mess with the armadillo. They were everywhere, but they said they carry leprosy now.
Oh, great.
Hey, Bruce, you got your YouTubes on still.
Not now. I'm muffled.
The only time I ever saw a armadillo was in Florida. And you're right. It's like a armor-shelled possum. And the ones that were dead on the road stunk to high Never seen a porcupine. Never seen one of them around here. I get
Can you
possum.
cook an armadillo in a shell like you can a turtle?
Like a shrimp. You do it on the half shell, baby. I don't know. I don't freaking know. I just know the only ones I saw were dead and they stunk like hell. I had a friend that had a pet possum. Not possum. Well, I did have a friend that had a pet possum, but a pet skunk that had been de-stumped or whatever. And it was a sweet little animal, man. I mean, it was a really nice little animal. But a porcupine, I've never seen one of them. Don't want to.
I seen them when we lived in Wyoming. We lived in Hand Elmo, Wyoming, which is over by Elk Mountain, in between Rawlins and Casper. I saw some porcupines then.
Wow. But I bet it's the type of animal that you don't mess with them, they ain't gonna mess with you. Leave them alone, right? They're not gonna come after you or anything, right?
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing: is I've toyed with a few porcupines in my life, and if you were to walk up onto a big old 40-pounder, a full-size one, and if you were to get close to him, he'll lean towards you. That's a warning, right? When they lean in your direction, that's telling you best back off, because what's coming next is they'll throw their body right at you. And I mean, they can do it fast.
Man, and I don't want that.
Yeah, I hit one at 50 yards with a Winchester 30-30. I remember that day.
Was that armadillo?
No,
porcupine.
Porcupine. Yeah, I ain't never seen one of them. I've seen where they were and thrown quills, but never seen one.
They don't really throw quills. They hit you with their body and release them. They don't shoot off of them like people think they do.
I bet they hurt like shit too.
They're barbed. When you pull them out of something, it goes tick 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 before you get it out because they got barbs on them. They're not just straight little quills.
And it's all dirty and whatnot.
If you don't get a quill out, Yorga, if you had a quill in your arm and you didn't get it out, it will work its way all the way through you.
Oh, God. Well, I'm glad we don't have porcupines around here. We have possums that are very nice, and they come up on I've got a big screen impact porch, and they come up and eat the cat food, and they look actually groomed, and the cats hang around with them, and we're like, that's just Earl.
They don't carry rabies. They don't carry rabies. They don't carry rabies. Yep.
And they kill the living hell out of ticks and all kinds of stuff. I'm like, cool. It's like, oh, hey, Earl. I don't know why I named him Earl, but he's Earl. And he comes and hangs out and eats cat food, and I don't give a damn, Yep. And then I've got like 4 or 5 raccoons that come up here that do the same thing, eat the cat food. I call them the James Gang because they look like robbers. They got the they're all going there. And they'll do these ninja runs where they come up and eat the cat food and stuff. And the cats are like, yeah, that's just the James Gang. It's cool. And they go away. So I'm cool with it.
Oh, my.
Bonnie says she has porcupine, coons, fox, possums, bobcats, mountain lions, and panther, coyotes, and coyotes too. Wow.
Oh, my.
Got it all.
We have cougars, we have coyotes, we have wolves. Very few of them, but there are wolves. I've only seen a couple of raccoons the whole time I've been out here.
Wow.
Not a lot of them. Foxes you can find down in southern Oregon, but you don't find them up north. They don't like all that moisture,
We have coyotes. We have coyotes here and my neighbor had a game cam that showed one in my field right next to me. You know, that's been probably 7 years ago. But so we do, and I did have one cat that just vanished, and I think he got taken by a coyote. I do.
You're sneaky about that, Jorg. I watched it happen right from a guy's, second level deck. He had one big dog and one little dog, and something spooked them, and they were barking out behind the chicken coop, and the big dog came back to the house with his tail between his legs, like he knew something. Well, that little dog thought he was something, He went out there behind the chicken coop, and we heard yap, 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 yap. All of a sudden, yike! And that was the last we saw of that dog, except for the orange hair and the coyote poop a couple days later.
Man, yeah. Hey, not to change the subject, but I have people here and people there that I don't really know that I think are actually fighting dogs. You hear them late at night, man, and it's like the worst thing you ever heard in your life. And I don't want to rat anybody out or anything like that. It's like, why would these dogs out of the blue just start raising holy hell? And it sounds like a fight. And you'll hear them go,
does it sound like, or does it sound like fighting, growling, and barking and stuff? Because you might be hearing packs of coyote.
All of the above. All of the above.
Look up coyote packs on YouTube.
No, but it'll get quiet though. After
that sounds like a coyote pack to me. I got them all around. Look up on YouTube when you get a chance what a coyote pack sounds like. See if that's what you're hearing.
I don't know, man. It's not. Yeah, somebody's doing something, and they have lights on, and you can hear people like partying and drinking beer and yada yada.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty suspicious. But I don't want to be the guy that, I don't want to be that guy, so I hear it and I'm like, as long as they don't mess with my cats, I guess I'm not really all right with it. I'm not, it does sound suspicious. And I know people around here do that shit, it's like a cockfight or whatever, it's the same sort of thing. And man, when I hear it, I'm just like heartbroken. It's like, damn, you could almost hear something, the end of something's life. And all of a sudden everything gets quiet, and it's like, damn, oh man. But I don't know, I don't know for sure. If I don't know for sure and I don't have evidence and I don't want to be a rat, and I want to be the cool guy on the corner, don't say anything. You know what I mean?
Not to mention you can start yourself a little gang war with somebody you don't know.
You never know, man. I mean, yeah, and I don't need that shit. I don't need anything like that. I don't need to, I've talked to my neighbors, from time to time. I've never brought that up, In other words, it would be like, do you think somebody's fighting dogs around here? What? I don't have a dog in the fight. I don't, man. I'm sorry if they're doing that shit, but damn, I just bought my house, man. I don't want to be mixed up in that stuff.
Well, hell, guys, I've been on her an hour and a half. I'm fixing to shut it down. I think I'm going to get some sleep.
All right, Chuck, baby.
Hey, Chuck.
Hey, bud.
I just want to thank you for your deal earlier today when I called you and stuff. I finally found that stuff, and they have a whole bunch of it down here where I'm at.
Yeah, somebody told me you better get all you can before, was it July or somewhere in the end of the summer, because they're going to start pulling it where nobody can get it.
Okay.
You got to have a prescription from a vet.
Yeah, they've done that with a lot of the antibiotics and stuff for fish and stuff and everything. You got to go to the vet and get it. Everything now because they think we're using it wrong or something.
Check out any co-op or Tractor Supply or country farmer places or what have you, stuff like that. And you'll find a lot of that stuff maybe for a while. So.
Yeah, I got this at Tractor Supply. The closest one I've got, either one of them like that, is 40 and 45 miles away. So I thought while I was in town, I thought I'd check and see if they had it. And they did. And everything, thanks for your help and everything on what to look for. And I finally found it. And they've also got injectables and stuff too at 1% also. So I don't know what the criteria that would be if we can't get something else on same stuff, but the dosage and stuff on and how to put it in you.
Good night, all you fine people.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for showing up. We can sit and BS in the back room for a few if y'all want, but I'm gonna cut bait quick.
Yeah, I'm about wanting to do the same thing you were going to do, Chuck, but I just wanted to hop up there and say hi to everyone and chat and everything. So I'll just end it with my usual deal. Much love. God bless. And you guys take care. And thanks for letting me up, Chuck. And we'll do it again and everything like that. God bless everyone. And you guys have a good night and take care.
Much love, Bert.
Nice meeting you, Bruce.
You too, Yorga. Yeah, I'm usually around lurking for the most part and everything, just trying to get my health back. That's all. And
that's
everything.
Cool.
I think we're on the right track, but it's going to take a while and everything. I just got to get a plan down before I get a real definite diagnosis and everything. So
remember, every illness we have is some kind of parasite causing it.
Yeah, and that's what it'll take care of is what I read on it. So it ought to be good for something as old as it is. You know, being in the arena there, so it's got to be working for something, or it wouldn't be around now.
Good night, all y'all.